Hello and welcome to another episode of Remind Rewind. I am your host, Jordan Klein. I will be here with you every week on our journey back into movies. Mostly from the 80s and 90s, I guess. So tonight, this is a part two of a two-parter. Tonight we're talking about Ghostbusters, the OG original 1984 kit and caboodle. And yeah, we're finishing that up. We started it last week. I talked a lot last week about a bunch of stuff, that I remember from back then, and some nostalgia bits, and we did a little VHS talk. We'll talk a little bit more about the movie today, and kind of picking up where we left off as far as like, watching it along with you guys and talking about it as it's happening. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. I got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So, welcome to the 5th episode of Remind Rewind. Again, my name is Jordan Klein, and I will be your host. We will be talking about, tonight, Ghostbusters, but on this podcast, some old and some new movies that I might have missed along the way. We'll also be talking about collecting physical media, movies, music, a little bit of reselling, and any kind of movie-related news that's going on. We'll also have special guests to talk about different movies, that we choose to watch together, or, we both watch it and then talk about, if it made us feel some kind of way or whatever. Like I mentioned before, tonight is the second part of a two-part episode, and we will be finishing up talking about the OG Ghostbusters 1984. But before we get into that, again, if y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me at remindrewindpod@gmail.com, or you can follow me on the socials. I just posted up a really cool picture today on Instagram and Facebook of some old Ghostbusters toys that I still have sitting around somehow. A little Slimer puppet and a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and they destroyed a bunch of VHS tapes and have ran havoc in my movie room. So go check that out on Instagram or Facebook. All of the links to my Instagram and Facebook are in the About section of the podcast. There's links to my music. There's links to DJ mixes. There's links to my eBay. There's links to Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Spotify. I have multiple bands and projects and stuff I put out on there. So yeah. Okay, so gotta pull up my notes real quick. Not just gonna like totally fly by the seat of my pants, kind of like how I did last week. We're gonna try to get it done tonight, guys, and we'll see, because now I can't even find my notes. So excuse me. Okay. Let's pull it up right here. Okay. No. All right. Okay, so what I was going to do, this is what we'll start her off. I was going to start playing trailers for the movies that we watch. So, why don't we, just in case you don't know, this is the original movie trailer for the Ghostbusters that came out in the early 80s. And if you've never seen the movie before, which you definitely should, like, stop listening right now and go watch the movie. This is an amazing trailer. It's super 80s. It's got, like, the typical 80s movie, like, scary guy voice, and lots of quips, and it just kind of gives you a cool little intro, and there's perfect music in it and everything. So check this out, the original trailer for Ghostbusters.
Ghosts.
Hello, Ghostbusters.
They're real.
You do? You have?
They're here. Ghostbusters.
Hey, anybody see a ghost?
They catch the ghost that won't stay dead. Ghostbusters! They're armed. They're dangerous.
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
All right, that's bad. Okay. All right, important safety tip. Thanks, Egon.
They're professionals.
Oh. I'm the chairman of the largest paranormal removal company in America. You see it?
They're all that stands between you and the end of the world.
The city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion. Real wrath of God type stuff. Exactly. Fire and brimstone coming down from the sky. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Your girlfriend lives in the corner penthouse of Spook Central.
You want this body?
Is this a trick question?
Got your stick? Hold! Beat him up! Smoke him! Make him hard! Ready!
Ghostbusters. Starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis. Coming to save the world. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
We came, we saw, we kicked it.
We kicked its ass. Yeah, perfect trailer. It even plays the song, the famous who you gonna call, Ray Parker Jr. Song that is so infamous with the movie. So, okay, so basic kind of plot breakdown. I'm not just going to like read something because I've seen this movie like a lot of times. So what happens is there's these couple of guys that work for a university that are doing some paranormal research, and I guess their funding gets cut, or, you know, the school's not into it anymore. So they decide to open their own ghost busting business. And that's what these guys do. So they open the ghost busting business. They set up in a firehouse. They've got a vehicle they can use. They now have the ghost containment system. They have the proton packs. They have traps. They have all of the things they need to find ghosts and capture them. So, you know, if all goes well, then they'll be in business. Well, all does go well, and they are in business. But a what they call in the movie a EPA specialist, which is something that they made up for the movie. It's not actually a thing. There is things that are like it in various capacities, but they just made that up for the movie or whatever. So this dude is a real fucking asshole, and he wants to shut it down. Probably because they're just walking around the office like smoking cigarettes everywhere with all this equipment. But oh no, never mind. That's the 80s. You can do that. All right, here he is, right here, the asshole. What's let me cue him up.
Great. How's it going down there?
Are you Peter Venkman?
Yes, I'm Dr. Venkman.
Exactly what are you a doctor of, Mr. Venkman?
Well, I have PhDs in parapsychology and psychology.
I see. And now you catch ghosts.
Yeah, you could say that.
And how many ghosts have you caught, Mr. Venkman?
I'm not at liberty to say.
And where do you put these ghosts once you catch them?
Into a storage facility.
And would this storage facility be located on these premises?
Yes.
And may I see this storage facility?
No.
And why not, Mr. Venkman?
Because you did not use the magic word.
He's already
What
fucking
is
with
the
it.
magic word, Mr. Venkman?
Please.
May I please see the storage facility, Mr. Venkman?
Why do you want to see the storage facility?
Yeah, so this dude comes snooping around. You know, he's not into it. He's going to go as far as go to the mayor and tell him, like, look, you got to shut these guys down. This is not right. And when he does that, the ghost containment system has opened and chaos ensues. Ghosts are everywhere. All that going on, subplot, Sigourney Weaver's character, she has the ghost that appears in her fridge, Zool, and she also has to deal with the terror dog situation, and one of those ghosts also takes over her neighbor, Rick Moranis, and they become these like demons trying to open up this portal and all this jive. So we'll get more into that in a minute. So what I didn't know about this movie is originally it was written by Dan Aykroyd. He started to write it. And when he was writing it, he had people in mind to play the certain parts. Okay, so the part that he had in mind, or the actor that he had in mind to play Venkman, Bill Murray's character, was John Belushi. So literally, while Dan Aykroyd is writing the script, he gets a call that John Belushi has died. So at that point, he is obviously in grief and devastation, and is only like 40 or 50 pages like into the script. So he seeks out some help. Well, he gets the help from the director, Ivan. God, I'm so terrible with names. I can only remember like their names in the movie for a second, and then their real names, and then this guy's name who I read like 1,000 times today already. Ivan, where you at? Looking for it on the Vox. Oh, should probably turn it over. Ivan Reitman. Okay, he goes to Ivan Reitman and has him help him write the rest of the, kind of develop things a little bit more. Okay, so they choose another character that they want, and they want Eddie Murphy to play Winston's part, the black guy. He, I guess they're already writing him in. They're getting pretty far into the movie. They have a budget now. They have hired some other writers, and they're really getting it done. Well, Eddie Murphy drops out. So because of that, they kind of have to bring Winston's character, the African-American guy, they have to bring him in kind of later in the movie, because he was already supposed to be in it. Like in the hotel when Venkman gets slimed that was supposed to be Winston's character getting slimed. So they had to kind of like rearrange it a little bit. But I mean, if you just think about how crazy that would be if it was Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, John Belushi, and Eddie Murphy. I mean, that, ooh, wow. It's kind of a whole different thing. So then Rames starts working on the script with Aykroyd too, and there's the script goes through like a bunch of different changes. I mean, there's like I found out there's a Ghostbusters wiki, I guess, that's like all about Ghostbuster stuff. So it has details and long parts about each of the different variations and the script, you know, how it went down until they finally got to what they got to. But another thing I didn't realize is this month or June. Now we're in July, but June 8th of last month was the 40th anniversary of the movie coming out. It came out in June 8th, 1984. Which is crazy that I was so into it because I was only born a couple months later. So, I mean, I was probably watching this when I was like 3 or something. And it was hot. I mean, to think, you know, after, if it came out in 84, you know, I was playing toys with it when I was probably like 4 years later, and they were still just pumping out like all this stuff. It was a phenomenon. At the time, it was the highest grossing like comedy, I think, at the time, until Home Alone came out in 1990. So it made a lot of money, and it was very, very popular, very well known. The other thing I was going to mention was, sorry, I had a brain fart. Here's the neighbor, Rick Moranis' character.
So they're okay. So, does anybody want to play Parcheesi?
And the
Okay,
dog.
who brought the dog?
So, in case you don't remember, like these apartments that they're terrorizing or whatever, that are like so nice, whatever, like the address to them is 550 Central Park. So like these apartments are like in it. Like this is like the best apartments like in Manhattan. Like why, you know, like I would definitely want to live there. Like they're doing it. And supposedly it's just the perfect location where there's like this antenna basically where these ghosts are trying to like open a portal into, you know, wherever. Oh gosh, I love this part where he's outside of the restaurant banging on the window.
There's gotta be a way in here. I gotta get... Nice doggy. Cute little pooch. Maybe I got a milk bone.
So that, you know, it seems like it's like killing him or whatever, but that, I guess, is when the terror dog possesses him and kind of like takes over his body or whatever. So now Vakeman's showing up at their apartment because he's supposed to have a date with Dana, and there's like cops outside, and he's like, "What the hell's going on in here?" Walking down the hall, and it's all messed up. Thinking, you know, like, oh, maybe they're just gonna, you know, watch a movie or, you know, chill.
Hello? That's a different look for you, isn't it?
Are you the keymaster?
Not that I know of.
so good. Another thing I read about the script is like so much of the movie is ad-libbed, especially Bill Murray's part. Like, the script does not look like what actually happens in the movie because him and Dan Aykroyd and everybody else is just like, ad-libbing and stuff, and Rick Moranis and that whole scene, that whole party scene we just watched, which is actually one entire shot. I always thought that was really cool. That how they can do one continuous shot. So we're gonna tune in real quick and see what old Dana's saying, because her voice is probably gonna get all weird right here.
I guess the roses worked, huh?
Take me now, sub-creature.
We never talk anymore. Hey, Daisy. I make it a rule never to get involved with possessed people. Actually, it's more of a guideline than a rule. I can...
I want you inside me.
Go ahead. No, I can't. It sounds like you got at least 2 people in there already. Might be a little crowded. Come on, why don't you just quit trying to upset and disturb Dr. Venkman and just relax. Lie down there, relax, put your hands on your chest. What I'd really like to do is talk to Dana. I want to talk to Dana. Dana, it's Peter.
There is no Dana. There is only Zool.
Oh, Zuli, you nut now. Come on. Come on, I want to talk to Dana. Dana, just relax. Come on. Dana. Can I talk to Dana?
There is no Dana, only Zool.
What a lovely singing voice you must
So
have.
that is actually the director's voice. I found out doing Zool. God, I forget his name again. I'm such an idiot. Ivan Reitman. So yeah, that was actually him doing that like low pitch down kind of thing. So I hope you guys watched this movie and loved it as much as I did. I know I mentioned dressing up and playing with the toys. I have vivid memories of doing all that stuff and then pulling out those toys today. Like I said, I have a picture of those on the socials. Definitely check it out. Super awesome, cool stuff. I wish I had more. I know it was in a box somewhere. It's definitely gone now, but my wife wouldn't want me having all that stuff around anyways. So, yeah, let's talk about some VHS stuff for a second, and then we'll get back into the movie. Lots of cool tapes this week. Lots of tape swaps I've been working on. I'm mostly just picking out all my favorite stuff to swap out and make look super cool and stand out for my personal collection. I did an Abyss tape swap in this kind of lighter blue color, not a dark blue color. I also posted a picture of that on Instagram and Facebook. You can check that out. I did a really cool Mighty Ducks yellow tape and green spool swap. And the spool swap is those wheels that you can actually see Slimer holding in the picture I posted up that the tape actually goes on. So you can unwind those wheels, and most of them are white. Some of them are black. You can find the black ones sometimes, and then there are a couple of green ones. So the green ones I got off of there's an early release ET tape that has green spools or reels and a green flap on the top of the actual VHS plastic tape. So I won it for free on a Whatnot giveaway, and I already have 2 other copies. One is a sealed clamshell, and the other I'm actually trying to sell. So I decided to take it apart and to get the green spools off. It took forever. So what you see in the picture that I'm talking about with the Stay Puft Marshmallow and Slimer is all the spools, all the tape that I was like unwinding for probably a good damn near half hour. And then I figured out, well, I'll just do one side and attach it and then fast forward the tape all onto that spool and then get the other spool out and then put the green one in and then rewind it and then they're both in. So in doing that, I had to like put the tape together and then take it apart and then put it together and then take it apart and then put it together again. So the whole process like took a long time, but the Mighty Ducks tape, it plays well and it looks super cool. I will post a picture of that soon, but you got to be following me on the socials. I'll break down exactly what my I just changed my Instagram name. It was Gummy for the longest time. Now on Instagram I am at JOR_Dankline. JOR_DANKLINE. And then the music you hear before and after the shows is always music made by me. And that can be found on Instagram at DANK.LINE. And then it can also be found on SoundCloud under the name Dank and then a space and then line. And in case you don't know what Dankline is, it is a play on my name, Jordan Klein. It's something a good buddy of mine, Brad Cannon, came up with a couple years ago, and I've been making music under that moniker since the pandemic. Before that, my solo stuff I called Storm Cloud Study. And then all during those times, I've been in several bands. The Unspell band that me and Renee were in, that was the latest one, a hardcore band. Before that, I played some music with him and another friend of ours, Elijah, in a band called Woes, which is spelled VVOES. You can find Unspell and Woes both on Spotify and wherever you listen to music. The band before that I was in that did a couple records or that did some cool recordings was called Ice Eater. And Ice Eater you can listen to also out there. Played a couple gigs with my friend Jacob Furr. And he has a lot of really, really great music. He's a singer solo artist from Fort Worth. He's a prolific artist at this point. He's been making music forever. His voice is amazing. His style is amazing. His stories are amazing. He is just an amazing dude all around. We could have a whole episode on music. I can talk about that stuff forever. If we want to talk about Ghostbusters music, honestly, I like the Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack a little bit better than the first one. And I guess we'll have to talk more about those songs if we watch the second one, which I'm sure we will because, man, the second one is wild cool. Oh, they're driving over the Brooklyn Bridge, and you could see, or the Manhattan Bridge, and you could see the Twin Towers in the background. Okay, here comes Mr. Asshole. Okay, back to Ghostbusters. Here he comes to shut him down at the fire station. He's going to serve him the papers. See what this jerk has to say.
This way.
Walking like he's got a stick up his butt.
Excuse me,
Tell him,
just where do
Jamie.
you think you're going?
Step aside, mister. I'll have you arrested for interfering with a police officer.
Oh, no, hold on. I've seen TV. I know you can't come in here without a warrant or a writ or something.
Cease and desist all commerce order, seizure of premises and chattels, ban on the use of public utilities for non-licensed waste handlers, and a federal entry and inspection order.
Vince, there's one more test I'd like to perform.
Hang on. I tried to stop them. He says they have a warrant.
Excuse me, this is private property.
Shut this off. Shut these all off.
I'm warning you, turning off these machines would be extremely hazardous.
I'll tell you what's hazardous. You're facing federal prosecution for at least a half a dozen environmental violations. Now, either you shut off these beams or we shut them off for you.
And shit is about to hit the fan.
Try to understand, this is a high-voltage laser containment system. Simply turning it off would be like dropping a bomb in the city.
Don't patronize me. I'm not grotesquely stupid like the people you built.
At ease, officer. I'm Peter Venkman. I think there's just been a slight misunderstanding, and I want to cooperate in any way that I can.
Forget it, Venkman. You had your chance to cooperate, but you thought it'd be more fun to insult me. Well, now it is my turn, wise ass.
He wants to shut down the protection grid, Peter.
You shut that thing down, and we are not going to be held responsible for whatever
you're
happens.
gonna be held
No, we
responsible.
won't be
Shut
held
it off.
responsible. Don't shut it off. I'm warning you.
I've never seen anything like this before. I don't know.
I'm not interested in your opinion. Just shut it off.
Oh, I remember this part so much when I was a
My
kid.
friend, don't be a jerk.
Step aside.
If he does that again, you can shoot him.
You do your job, pencil neck. Don't tell me how to do mine.
Thank you, officer.
Shut it off!
Typical New York cop. And here we go. That's not a good sound. Okay. Finally, some kind of cheese horror effects. So everyone's running out of the fire station, and a hole breaks through the roof with a giant beam of light coming out and an explosion.
This is it. This is the sign.
Yeah, it's a sign, all right. We're going out of business.
Yeah, so that's happening. Zool is kind of waking up in Dana's body, and stuff's about to go crazy. So they're gonna need those proton packs, and this movie is so cool. It's filmed in Manhattan and New York. Lots of scenes. They did do some shooting, like in Burbank, on the I guess Warner Brothers studio, Columbia. Wait, I can't read. My eyes don't work. Yeah, it must have been some studios there, but a lot of it they did in New York, and obviously you can tell. I heard that the director even did 3 days of filming, not even with the actors, just getting, I guess, like some B-roll and different shots around the city, maybe things that they could take and use, when they add in all the ghosts and that kind of stuff. As far as the special effects go, I even heard that they were trying to get this out so quick for the summer blockbusters that there were some that went out that people saw, I guess, for early screenings and stuff that like had like totally unfinished special effects in them, and that would have been really cool. I don't remember seeing this in the theater, because I was really young. I definitely remember seeing the second one in the theater. We had a really great, I guess it was a 3-screen movie theater in Irving where I grew up. They used to call it the Chateau. And they had one big screen and 2 smaller screens. I definitely remember seeing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the big screen, Home Alone on the big screen, Man, we saw so many movies in there. We would just get in the back of my dad's truck. Here's them talking about how his girlfriend's apartment is right where
So what?
everything's
I
happening.
guess they just don't make them like they used to, huh? No! Nobody ever made them like this. I mean, the architect was either a certified genius or an authentic wacko. Ray, for a moment, pretend that I don't know anything about metallurgy, engineering, or physics, and just tell me what the hell is going on.
You never studied.
The whole building is a huge superconductive antenna that was designed and built expressly for the purpose of pulling in and concentrating spiritual turbulence. Your girlfriend lives in the corner penthouse of Spook Central. She's not my girlfriend. I find her interesting because she's a client and because she sleeps above her covers. 4 feet above her covers. She barks, she drools, she claws.
It's not the girl, Peter, it's the building. Something terrible is about to enter our world, and this building is obviously the door. The architect's name was Ivo Shandor. I found it in Tobin's Spirit Guide. He was also a doctor, performed a lot of unnecessary surgery. And then in 1920, he started a secret society.
Let me guess. Gozer worshippers.
Right.
No studying.
After the First World War, Shandor decided that society was too sick to survive. And he wasn't alone. He had close to 1,000 followers when he died. They conducted rituals up on the roof. Bizarre rituals intended to bring about the end of the world, and now it looks like it may actually happen.
So be good, for goodness sake. Whoa!
Okay, so that whole scene is taking place in jail because they were arrested. So they're going over blueprints of her place, and what's going to happen is the mayor's going to dismiss them because obviously, like, ghosts are like wreaking havoc on New York City. So what they were explaining, I love all that, like, you know, deep, like, ghost lore and history about you know, these people and cult leaders and all this stuff. It's funny going back and watching that now, and you know, I don't really remember like paying attention to like that much of that and kind of understanding what's going on there, and it's funny hearing it now. And you know, this like kind of cool made up history that I'm sure they did for the movie. So, if you haven't seen this movie, I would suggest definitely checking it out. The end scene when they are on the roof, fighting the terror dogs and the spirits and stuff, and Stay Puft Marshmallow comes out. I mean, this is like one of the greatest moments in like cinema history. It's so epic. And this was before you know, all the computer graphics and special effects. So the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was a guy in a suit walking around a miniature version of New York City, and supposedly they had 3 suits. They destroyed them all basically in the filming, and each one of them cost $20,000. So, I mean, they went all out. You know, I think the movie had a $30 million budget. If that number is incorrect, I am sorry. But you know, it did so well in the theater. You know, I'm sure they made that back, you know, lots of times over. And you know, I'm so it's so cool that they did the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and that also is a cool reason why they did it. You know, you'll have to watch the movie to find out why, but it's so cool that they had that. And then in the second one, the whole Statue of Liberty bit. and more great songs. But for Ghostbusters, I think we're gonna wrap it up. And like I said, I really hope that you go check the movie out. I also, if you haven't checked out any of my other shows and you've missed some, definitely go back and check some out. The second episode is with my buddy Renee. It's really great. We talk about high fidelity. We cut it up a little bit. We have a good banter back and forth, and it's a really good one. And then don't forget, if you have any requests, questions, or there's a movie you want me to watch. It doesn't have to be from the 80s or the 90s. It can be newer. It can be older. I am compiling a list, and I will be getting them done. I hope to have my brother-in-law Andrew on a show really soon. He is a writer and filmmaker and actor, and he's got a new movie coming out very soon. He's got a short movie on YouTube already. And we'll get more into that, and I'll have some links where you can see that. We're going to talk about his movie and another horror movie. We're thinking Scream maybe. So definitely tune in for that one. And if you're not already, please subscribe, follow, and rate me on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And then I'll mention one last time, if you like any of the music you hear on the show, or if you like what I'm doing at all, email me or message me, or go check out my music. I have links to them in the About section, and we talked about it a little bit earlier in this episode. So thank you guys very much for tuning in again this week. And I hope to have you back. Hit me up on the email or Instagram or Facebook, and let's talk movies. Or if you see me in person, let's talk about it. Give me any ideas that you have. I'd love to talk to you about collecting physical media. I've got it all. I have some DVDs. I don't just have VHS. I have some Blu-rays. I just today hooked up my Blu-ray player in the living room because I rented Oppenheimer from the library on 4K, and I'm definitely going to check that out because I haven't yet, and I want to watch, the best visually pleasing version of it that I can for a movie like that. And it's done by one of my favorite directors of all time, Christopher Nolan. So, maybe that will be on a future episode too. I'm sure it probably will. Or one of his movies definitely will. I'm thinking Memento. That's probably my favorite other than Batman Begins. But please stay tuned. And I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for listening to episode 5 of Remind Rewind. My name is Jordan Klein. And we will see you or hear from you, or you will hear me very soon. Thank you very much, guys, and I hope you'll have a great weekend.